Welcome, everybody, to the Joe Lee Podcast, NFL Week 10. I'm your host, Joseph, and as always, I'm joined by...
Hey, Lee. So this is Lee here. What's up, everyone?
Yeah, so this week was quite interesting. The AFC West is now completely tied up, quote unquote. It's honestly been pretty cool that all four teams are actually so close to each other.
How did we get to this place in the first place? How did we get to here in the first place?
Well, the Broncos,
very mind-boggling.
Yeah, the Broncos won out their first three games and they won their last two. Kansas City has been like on and off depending on what team they're playing. The Raiders won their first game, and then they lost, and then they won straight, and then they lost 2 weeks in a row, and then they won. Actually, no, they won, they lost, and they won. I think that's how it went. Anyway, they're kind of like the Raiders, spread out wins, and then the Chargers. Yeah, they've won their first, lost their second against the Cowboys, won in a row, and then lost to the Patriots and Patriots and the Ravens, and then they won today against Philly. So there you go, a little rundown of the AFC West this year.
Yeah, it's wild. Let's call it Wild West.
Yes. That's I like that. I like that. The Wild West.
It's a Wild West. We had this conversation earlier, like before the season starts, or we feel like there's going to be one team that's going to be very dominant, or a couple teams at least are very dominant in this season. And we say like by now we should be able to predict who's going to go into playoffs. And as of today, I feel like we cannot make that conclusion, like make that decision. I feel like we won't be able to say anything till like week 13. Right?
Yeah, I think like the last maybe 4-5 weeks is being cutting it pretty close. We're not gonna be able to tell who is going to make it to the playoffs, at least for like those wild card spots. I'm sure by week 5 we'll have some guaranteed teams who will be in the playoffs.
I think week 15, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
maybe like by week 13. Because there's 17, right?
Yeah, they're 13
with 5 weeks to go. That's what I meant. I'm sorry if I said week 5.
You said week 5. I was like, week 5. Week 5.
So with 5 weeks left in the season, we should be like starting to see like which teams will be in the playoffs. But I guess like the spots for wild card and who is going to be in the bye weeks slots are going to be. Those are kind of like the important ones that everyone's, I guess, sweating about right now. But I do definitely think that there will be, some teams that we look at that where you just say like, oh, well, those teams are definitely making the playoffs. And then there's going to be a lot of teams where we're like, those teams could make the playoffs, but they might not because there's other teams that are like equally level as them.
Yeah. But I just look at the standing here right now. I feel like we could go into week 13, 14. You're going to have a lot of teams with similar records. Maybe they're out by a game or two. So, especially we're talking about the Wild West, right? So AFC West or AFC North. Their standings are very close to each other. And so that wasn't something that we expected, right?
Yeah, it was... I've been saying like, oh, I want this team to win, and I want this team to win, and I want this team to win. And then like... it comes back and I'm like, wait, maybe I shouldn't have been rooting for these teams to win. Now like all the AFC Wests are like so close together. And it's like, as a Chargers fan, you're like nervous because like you think, oh my gosh, are we going to get knocked off from the playoffs? Like, are we going to lose our number one spot like any week now?
Because now every single game matters, right? Almost.
Yeah. No, it really does.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Like after the Ravens lost, like the Chargers need to like win out all their games. I'll talk about that during my Chargers analysis for this week.
Yeah.
So, okay, enough AFC Wild West discussion. Let's go to 49ers. How are you guys doing this week?
Oh, we're not doing hot. The players are very confident that they just need to be able to turn things around. The weeks when they win the game, they use similar strategies, right? And so what works in one game might not work in another game. In 1 week, maybe you don't get cold penalty. You get cold penalty in the next game, right? So those hurt you. We did have 2 fumble from George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk, and those fumble turned into 14 points.
George Kittle? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, he had like a more than 100-yard carry. He was amazing. It was just that fumble. That's it. That was the first game after he came back from the injury. And so can't really blame on him. And just like overall, Cardinals played better defense. And they didn't have Kyler Murray play for them. And somehow their backup quarterback was having a good day, And this backup quarterback, I should know his name, but then he used to play for the Niners in 2013. But yeah, wow. Yeah, it'll be amazing. I'll tell you later when we talk about other games what happened. There was another backup quarterback play for another team, and then they won the game against another team. I was like, whoa.
I'd like to stroke the ego of this podcast by saying that we called it right. The future of the NFL season is in the hands of backup quarterbacks.
and it's not like this. So this guy, Cardinals, this guy, he had like a losing record, like 8-22. And somehow he was able to play really well and lead the Cardinals to beat the Niners. Jimmy G was not bad. I mean, like he had like a passer rating over 100. It just like it wasn't their game, And they're trailing. Like it was like 14-0 at the first quarter, and then I'm just like, okay. By then it's kind of like game over in my opinion, because they're playing the best team in the NFL right now. So, but I think right now they have the worst record. Well, in NFC West. We have the same standing as the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks will win more games than the Niners, unfortunately, at this point. But who knows? Maybe the Niners will prove me wrong. They will turn things around. So that's just my little analysis. How about your team? I heard your team was doing really well.
Man, I don't know. It was hard to see whether we were doing bad or the Eagles were doing really good. And I honestly think it comes down to the Eagles were actually doing really well on offense. I think we're kind of like level in the sense where like their defense is not their strong suit, but the offense is actually starting to develop quite well for the Eagles. Most of what I'm going to talk about today is how the Eagles have developed as a team from like the beginning of the season. They had Jalen Hurts and they had no identity. Like literally the organization was already like thinking that this was going to be like a lost season. And I don't want to say like it's a lost season because, okay, let's be real here. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. Like the team is not there yet. But the way that I saw Jalen Hurts play this game, he is going to be a permanent stay in the league now. Everyone talks about like, oh, Mac Jones is not developing right. Trey Lance is not developing right. That's why he's not starting. Zach Wilson's not developing well. All these quarterbacks, or all these rookie quarterbacks that aren't developing well. Trevor Lawrence. And I just want to remind you that this same narrative was being said about Jalen Hurts a year ago. Or 2 years ago when he was the backup for Carson Wentz. Look at him this week. There's no way you can't tell me that he is not starter material.
All right.
And I'll take that to the Green Bay people, the people who said that Jordan Love looked bad. Jordan Love looked bad because it was his first week. Okay, now let's come back to the Eagles game. Yes, when the Eagles were not running the ball, when they were not passing the ball, Jalen Hurts was running the ball, by himself. And it was crazy, like, how good they actually were. The play calling was not great. Like, obviously, they need some sort of changing in coaching or something like that. But This man was literally carrying the team on his back. It literally gave me like Chargers vibes from last year. The coaching wasn't there, and the O-line wasn't there, but certainly Jalen Hurts was out there making plays similar to Justin Herbert last year. So I think if they can start building around Jalen Hurts, which it seems like they're starting to kind of believe in him now, if they can get him like that protection so he can pass, then I feel like the Eagles might be a really good contender next year. Get him some more weapons, get him protection, bolster up the defense just a little bit more, enough to stop certain teams from either keep running the ball on you or giving that ball back to the offense, because the guy is good. So, all right, enough about the Eagles. Now I'll talk about the Chargers. The Chargers played well this game. The right side of the O-line, I'm not saying it's fixed. It still needs work, but it was definitely an improvement from last week against the Patriots, where it was just rush on the right side. This time it seems like the Eagles tried mimicking what the Patriots had done last week, but it seemed like the right side of the O-line, gave Justin Herbert enough time to get that ball out. Also, last week I did not know, or I had not mentioned, that Justin Herbert was actually hurt. He had a hand injury that stemmed from, I guess, contact with the Chiefs player helmet. So in his game against the Ravens and the Patriots, he was actually playing injured. And no one knew about this until, literally after we recorded. They posted the injury report, and it said Justin Herbert his right hand was hurt. So
yeah, it was questionable if he can practice, right? He could practice or not. It was a limited practice on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, there was limited practice on Wednesday, and then it was full practice on Thursday, and then it was full practice, for the rest of the time. But that sort of answers some of the questions I had, about like why Justin Herbert wasn't playing all that well against the Patriots or the Ravens. And I think it was because he was hurt. Well, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to look too much deep into that because those games are in the past, and you just got to look forward to the next game. But I think we're getting back Justin Herbert as being like this 300-yard plus passer that we've been expecting him to. And as long as he can stay healthy, which he's never shown any signs of not being healthy, aside from the small hand injury, then we should be good. Keenan Allen showed up, finally. He had been doing kind of the last 2 weeks, dropping a lot of passes, but this time he did some work, 100-plus yards. Surprisingly, for Mike Williams, there wasn't like much going on there, which I'm still surprised. The offense still needs to work on some stuff, like the amount of run plays is still a little worrying because, like I mentioned last week, we're not really a run team. Like, unfortunately, Austin Eckler is not an Adrian Peterson or a Derrick Henry. Like, that's just not in the cards for us. We're more of a passing team. I said, like, if you use him as a halfback, like where he could be a hybrid of a receiver and a running back, he works better in that setting. And from what I've seen in the plays that they ran him as a kind of like a pseudo wide receiver, he seemed to be doing pretty well. I honestly think that if you switch him to be more of a DK Metcalf sort of wide receiver, he's probably better at that position than he is at running back. So I think the Chargers need to focus more on the pass. Obviously, I'm not saying like all we should do is pass, because then our playbook becomes predictable. But to try to keep doing like bubble passes or screen passes, it's just not working out. And like when we do it twice, like per down, like it's ridiculous. So yeah, the offense still needs some work on the play calling. I'm not there yet to say like, oh, Joe Lombardi needs to get fired. Maybe I was that like when the Patriots game because I was angry, but it's not there yet. The play calling needs to get better against teams that are, of a higher caliber. It was fine this week because we were playing the Eagles, but yeah, we can't keep running it twice and then expecting to get it on a pass during third down. Justin Herbert, he specializes in passing, so just give him the ball, let him pass.
What do you think there's a possibility for them to run different running schemes? I mean,
it's hard because they don't. Our backups aren't really there either. Like Joshua Kelly is not that great either. He's more like if we want to get like a beater, like if there's like 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and we just need someone to get that extra yard. That's kind of what Joshua Kelly does, but. Like we don't have like an electric running back. We don't have a Zeke. We don't have a Derrick Henry. We don't have we did have Melvin Gordon in the past, but we traded him to the Broncos. So no, I don't see the running back position being developed as long as we don't have like a big running back. So no, just focus on the airplay, and then if we did get like in a position where we're like Tennessee, where we have a great like running back that can get like 5 yards at a time, then obviously I would love to see more run game from the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it as far as the Chargers. It was really close. It came down to the last drive, and Brandon Staley was really good at making sure that we were running the clock down once we were on the final drive. So I think we went from 4 minutes to like 3 seconds. And then the reason we won the game, which I'm happy to report, we actually have a decent kicker now. So yeah, we get to I think it was a 36-yard attempt. And yeah, Dustin Hopkins puts it in, and the game was pretty much over. There was like 2 seconds left on the clock after that play. So yeah, Chargers did a fantastic job of running the clock down. It seemed like Brandon Staley learned from Bill Belichick when the Patriots ran the clock down on us, and then he was like, oh, I should steal that. And then he grabbed that from his playbook and then used it during the final drive for this game. So yeah, it was interesting.
I just look it up. Yeah, I just look it up. That final drive was really long. Well, like the Chargers started like with how many, like 6 minutes and 7 seconds left. They just like used the entire like 6 minutes.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the strategy, right? I think that's the reason why people want to, like certain teams want to do run games more, because you just keep holding on to the ball. Given that if you can get to the first down and continue to do so. So yeah.
Yeah. So now that's it. That's all I got for the Chargers report. Good game. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to NFL Week 9 results. Lee, we're going to talk about a couple games. We're not going to talk about everything. Let's talk about Cleveland completely destroying the Bengals. How does this happen? Like, I have no idea.
I don't know. Apparently, I think the key is to trade Odell. No, not to trade Odell, to waive him. I was like, no, he didn't get traded. He got waived. Okay, so I don't know. I think they just somehow, or maybe Bengals struggle. Or maybe I think that's what it is. They struggle. I think the Browns still has quite a few injuries, but somehow they play really well. On Sunday.
Yeah, how the Bengals went from the top team of the AFC and then completely have tanked the last 2 weeks is beyond me.
Yeah.
But the Browns traded Odell and then clearly showed that they don't need him. They still got a bit of injuries, but it seems like they're doing fine without him. So Baker's back, so that's probably the most important part of the team, is that he's playing again. All right. The other game that was a shocker, the Bills versus the Jaguars.
Are you kidding me? Okay, so look, like I followed the game. I was just like, were you kidding me, right? Like at one point they were like 3-3. I'm just like, that's like a halftime or something. And at the end, I was following the score. It was like with a minute or two left, the Jaguars were leading. I was like, there's no way. Come on. Like, and even then I was kind of like skeptical. I was like, I think the Bills will just score another touchdown, given like how much time they had. But yeah, Jaguars were able to seal the deal and won their second game of the season.
Yeah, I'm happy for Trevor Lawrence. I do want to see him do better, even though he's in the AFC. But yeah, I mean, that's really weird for the Bills to just like fall out like that. I mean, I wonder what happened.
I don't know.
It takes a lot.
Josh Allen he didn't have a good game. I think he was like he was sacked by Josh Allen from Jaguars.
Yes, Josh Allen sacked Josh Allen, and then Josh Allen picked off Josh Allen.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
Was just like, this is mind blowing. I don't know what happened to the Bills. It's just maybe things just didn't go their way on Sunday. But this is such a low scoring game. Like, because usually they're the team that blew up other team. Like they blow up other teams. But like, it was just a strange game in my opinion.
Yeah, really weird. Definitely. All right. Talked about the Chargers. Green Bay versus Kansas City. Jordan Love was a starter for Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers decided, hey, I'm not going to get vaccinated. So NFL suspended him because he has COVID now. And they're playing against the really battered up, really depressing looking Chiefs. And yeah, they lost. But
then even then, I think the Chiefs weren't that great. If you look at the score, you expect them to play even better, but no.
Yeah, didn't the Chiefs win in the second half? Like, I don't know how this team just doesn't put away Green Bay right away. Like, I think we were talking about this in one of the previous weeks. Is Green Bay one of those teams where, like, if you remove Aaron Rodgers, is the team even good anymore? And I think it's shown that right now the team is not good even without Aaron Rodgers. If they don't have Aaron Rodgers, so it's like, okay, so as long as Jordan Love plays decently, which I don't think he even did, they should be able to beat Kansas City because Kansas City has literally no defense. And I think there was like 3 picks during this game.
No, man.
So the defense for Kansas City showed up against a backup. I consider him a rookie backup, even though he's been in the NFL as a backup for a while. He just hasn't started any games. So, I mean, I don't think too much of this. Like, Kansas City is winning against like either really beaten up teams or getting away with it by a miracle. So
yeah, I think they could have done better.
Yeah, I think sometimes I look at it and like I'm thinking like, is the second, like, if is the top spot of the AFC West gonna come down to who doesn't choke their victories away? Because that's what it seems like it's happening right now. Like the Raiders lost their game against the Giants. Like, who loses against the Giants?
Jeez, yeah, how?
And then Kansas City barely wins against Green Bay. The Chargers barely win against the Eagles, and the Broncos. The Broncos actually destroyed
the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys. I was shocked.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me about the score. Like, it was like 16-0 at one point. I was like, you kidding me, right?
Something happened. I don't know. Like, if the Cowboys are regressing as a team or what. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I think we were talking about this like earlier in the week. Like, none of these teams in the NFL seem unbeatable. Like, there's not one team that like everyone's just like scared. Like last year, it was the Bills. Everybody was scared of the Bills. It seemed like they had like literally no weakness in their team. And then this season, they're like, like any team has a chance against any other team. Like, there's been so many surprises this year, like upset wins, that it's crazy. I don't trust the NFL schedule, looking at it and saying, all right, this team is gonna win.
Right. Yeah. And we're talking about one particular team that I'm looking at right now, the Titans and Rams, right? Like, that's almost like one of the examples where we say, oh, you know what? I think the Rams will win this one. But they lost, And so, like,
it was really bad.
I really don't know what to say. Yeah.
The Titans were up the entire time. I think the reason it's 16 is because the Rams had a garbage time score at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, the Titans were up the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh my goodness. So apparently Adrian Peterson is still good at his position, despite being retired and unretired now. So it's interesting. I think Tennessee is gonna make it pretty far this year, as long as they don't choke. I guess as long as Ryan Tannehill doesn't do too bad, but he's always been consistently good. So I don't really see them choking too much. He's not Matt Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, they actually won.
Oh, the Falcons? Yeah.
Yeah, they won.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
they didn't choke. Wow.
No, the reason they didn't choke is because of the winning field goal kick. Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so let's move to probably the most interesting segment of the week. The NFL Week 10 predictions. All right. We got a Thursday night game, and like we said before, you can't look at it and think, okay, Baltimore's going to win it for sure because it's against Miami.
They have choked before.
Yeah. But Miami, okay, looking at it from, NFL statistician point of view, there's no way the Ravens lose this one. It's against Miami. Right. I mean, I'm sure you agree with me.
Yeah.
So,
but I have to say that last week when they play against the Vikings, Lamar actually threw a couple interceptions, and he wasn't.
He didn't look good during his game.
Yeah.
He looked.
So that's what I would say. That
shaky.
It's really hard to say, but for this one, I think there's no reason for Ravens to do really bad unless Lamar really choke, in this game.
Yeah. Ravens should definitely be winning this game. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo against the Jets.
Buffalo.
Is Mike White back?
I think so. I think I checked some betting website. They said Mike White. They list Mike White as the starter.
I'm going Jets.
Oh my god, that would be so funny if they actually win this game. I will laugh. Yeah.
I'm going Jets. I'm locking it in. There's no challenge. There's nothing on the line here. We should do something.
No,
like that.
But I just think it's funny because now I start to see that we start kind of rooting for teams that are underdogs.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've been starting to win. So maybe we're cursing some other teams.
And their head coach, Jets head coach, saying that he has the best. He felt like, in his opinion, right now he has the best defense line. So I was kind of like, wait, what? So you're saying that your time with Niners, you didn't have a good defense line?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he's just saying it because he's a head coach of the team, right? So he has to
probably. He has to say good things about his own team. But the best? Yeah. I don't know. That's like cursing yourself right there. I still want the Jets to win.
Yeah.
All right. Tampa Bay versus Washington football team. Who do you got?
Oh, the Bucks will win this one.
Yeah. The Washington has
I don't know why.
really looked like garbage. Hey, let me tell you something. The Washington football team
What happened to them?
cut Dustin Hopkins, hit their kicker,
Uh-huh.
their best kicker, because they thought they had
right.
someone on the same level as I can't remember his first name, but his last name's iconic. Blew it. And then he played like garbage during the last game, and they cut him.
Oh my god.
Unbelievable. Like, how? Like that, and that entire organization is trash. Poverty organization.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I think they're being hit by a lot of bad news, and then now the team is not even that great. So
that's rich coming from a Chargers fan, because we've been a poverty organization for a while. Okay, Atlanta versus the Dallas Cowboys. Who do you got?
I got Cowboys.
Yeah, I got Cowboys. They'll rebound. They just had a bad week last week. Atlanta, it's always a coin toss with them whether or not they want to show up and actually be a decent football team. I was hearing things about maybe Atlanta would sign OBJ, but I don't know. We'll
I don't
see what
even know if
happens.
BJ wants to go there.
No, but it's probably the only team that'll take him.
I don't know if he's that good either. Like, I mean, he wants to reestablish himself. I get it.
I don't think he's that good either. Like, there must be a reason why the play calling for the Browns didn't ask OBJ to do too much.
Yeah. I mean, he's always like consistently wide open. I mean, at least that's what the videos shown by his dad, right? But I guess there must be a reason why Mayfield, like Baker, didn't pass to him or something. I don't know.
Maybe just didn't trust him with the ball.
Yeah, what if he dropped?
Don't know.
Yeah.
All right. New Orleans versus the Titans. I got Titans.
Let's go. Yeah, I got Titans. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much competition in this game. I think the Titans are just better than the New Orleans Saints, but
I mean, the
like we've been
Saints, they
saying,
don't have Jameis Winston. I don't know.
it's gonna be weird. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Indianapolis Colts.
Let's go with the Jaguars again. I'm going to go with Jaguars just for fun. I think the Colts will win this one, but I'm just going to go with the Jaguars.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars because the Colts have been blowing leads a lot this season. They've been doing pretty bad. So I think... Oh, man, my gut's telling me go to Indy. We'll go with Indy, but I think I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think they gave up a lot of scores, like last game against the Jets. And did they play against the Jets? I don't remember. But then there was one game where they were leading by a lot, and then they surrendered a lot of points. And some people were like, hey, if you really want to establish yourself as a good team, you should seal the deal still. Like, you can't allow people to like score like this, even if you're leading by a lot, So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, maybe the Colts will choke.
Maybe they've been doing that all season.
Yeah.
Okay, Detroit Lions at Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think the Lions is hopeless right now. They're hopeless right now. I think they will lose this one.
Facts.
Not saying that Steelers is any better, but I don't think the Lions will win.
I want the Lions to win really bad. Because if there's something I dislike more than the Lions, it's probably the Steelers. Probably Big Ben, specifically. The man needs to retire. Like, stop it. So I'm going Lions, hoping that the tree Big Ben can fall finally.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hey, maybe you're right. You'll be right. Maybe Lions will be able to at least win one game of the season. Oh, did I say one game? I just say one game. I don't know.
I hope
Hopefully
I
they'll
hope they
win
don't
more
have a
games
perfect
someday.
season. I don't think anyone deserves a perfect season. If you're an NFL fan, that's like the worst thing that can happen. Like you win no games.
Well, on a perfect losing season, that's terrible, man.
Yeah. All right, Cleveland versus the Patriots. Who do you got?
Ooh, I don't know. I think Patriots. I don't know. There's something about Patriots I don't get, but I think they might. You know, they might win this one. Like if they win, I think it will be super close. Browns
Yeah,
are still pretty good though.
I'm thinking this game might be closer than it appears.
Mm-hmm.
New England's actually been doing pretty all right the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think New England gets a sneaky win here. I think no one's really expecting Cleveland to lose because they've been doing
Well,
all
they're
right
favorite right now,
with all their
actually.
injuries. Oh, they are? Oh,
Yeah, the Patriots are favorite. I think it's because of the injuries with the Browns.
yeah. I don't have the favorites on the NFL site, but yeah,
Mm.
that's really interesting to hear that they're actually
Yeah,
favored.
yeah.
I still think the Patriots win. They've actually been doing pretty all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Minnesota Vikings versus the LA Chargers. There's no reason for us
This
to
one
lose.
I'm not gonna get my opinions. Like this one is is hard, but I know you're gonna go with the Chargers, right?
How dare you? How dare you?
I'm gonna explain to you my reasons about
Okay.
Vikings. Like if you look at the Vikings record, like how many points they lost, they're like Chargers last season. Believe it or not, they lost by 3 points, 2 points, 3 points here to other teams, and I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, and so like I kind of like look up some information. They say like, oh, sometimes like Kirk Cousins didn't really like take care of the business, didn't really like Stu didn't really stand up for the team and stuff like that. And it's just a bunch of issues. Maybe their offense is just not good. Um, but then losing in a very close games, that's kind of like, man, that sucks. Like if they actually had won those games, their standing would be very different. But that's just my take about Vikings. Vikings they have been a little bit weird here and there. So that's that. I'm not gonna call this game. I just think Vikings are a weird team. I think they should have won more games, but they didn't.
Okay. Well, I'll take your blasphemy and I'll take a note of it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Lee. I'm just messing with you.
I don't think you should take a nail for this one because I think
No.
like we talked about earlier, right? So every single game for AFC West matters now. I just so
Yeah.
unpredictable, right?
Yeah. There's, like we mentioned in the beginning of the show, all teams in the AFC are quote unquote tied because some have had different amount of buys. But
Right.
yeah, Broncos and Chiefs are still tied at the bottom. Then it's the Raiders tied with the Chargers, but the Chargers are the leaders because they beat the Raiders. In the division, we're undefeated. So,
Right.
yeah, it's important that the Chargers lose no games moving forward. And it's important for them to win at most all their divisional games. So
Right.
they literally cannot lose any divisional games. And they can probably only lose like around 2 games in the regular season for a chance to be in the playoffs. Because it's the race is really tight.
Yeah, it's super tight right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I got the Chargers. I think they've rebounded and hopefully they can change a little bit of the offensive play calling to something a bit better. Obviously the defense still needs a huge amount of help. But as long as they keep with the minor improvements throughout the season, if the right side of the O-line can be more consistent, I think that's enough. That's more steps towards in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cardinals versus the Panthers. Who do you got?
Cardinal will win this one.
Yeah.
I don't think the Panthers are that good. Sorry.
No.
No offense to like Panthers fans, but no, I think the Cards will win this one.
Yeah, I think we said it last week. The Panthers are regressing as a team. they're just not looking great. Sam Darnold's not doing too much for them. Is it because he doesn't have protection? I don't know. I don't really watch Panthers games. What's the reason why he's not doing well? Is he just not good?
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was really good. Like the first 3 games or so, right? Like
Yeah,
we were
first
like,
3 games he was pretty good. So maybe they figured out the play calls, or maybe
maybe they were playing against like a very mediocre teams to begin with.
That's
Who
probably
knows?
more realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got Cardinals easy. Philly versus Denver. Who do you got?
Oh, it's another game. I don't really care, to be honest. It's just like, should we go with Eagles? Maybe Eagles. I don't really like the Eagles anyway, as well. So like,
Okay, so
okay, I should be no bias. So I'll say Eagles.
okay, so I do have an opinion because I watched both of these teams last week. Because I also watched the Cowboys game last week, but I didn't have too much to say about it. But yeah, Denver's defense is looking great. They're not missing Von Miller at all, which might be something bad for the Rams, as we saw last week. They didn't do all that great. But yeah, Denver's defense is looking good, and then the Phillies offense is looking better too. So I think it'll come down to who, because I think on the opposite side of the ball it's going to be different.
Right.
I think the defense for the Eagles is not great, and the offense for the Broncos is not great either. So it's like I think it's a pretty balanced matchup. So it's really going to come down to the Eagles offense if they are better than the Broncos defense. And I think that's asking a lot because the defense for Denver just beat the Cowboys, which is a better offense. So I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a low scoring game. My prediction is like 7-3 Denver.
Yeah, they're favorite right now, Denver. So
7-3 Denver.
Oh,
yep.
That would be sad for the Eagles, though.
Based on what I saw last week, that should be around the score.
Yeah, I mean, like with the defense like that, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But I just want to see if Eagles can pull something off. Like, I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere this season, but who knows? Maybe they will pull up like a rare win on this one.
Maybe. All right. Seattle versus Green Bay. Who do you got?
I would go with the Packers. Are they getting Aaron Rodgers? I think he might play. I think if it's clear, if he tests negative, I think he will play.
Okay, well,
because there's been 10 days. Yeah,
I got the Packers too.
Yeah, I think they'll win. Seahawks are doing that hot. Like whether Russell Wilson play or not, I don't think that they're that great of a team anyway.
Nope. Okay, Kansas City versus the Raiders. I will be watching this very closely because I'm hoping for a tie.
I don't think they're gonna have a tie, man.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think so. I feel like the Raiders always have something on Chiefs. They always like when they play against each other, they always like end up like very close. Like the scores are super close. I think the Raiders might win this one. I got the
Raiders. They just seem like the better team, just like overall.
Yeah. Hey, did you see the news that they released that wide receiver? Or like, is it a wide receiver or something? I don't
think so. Yeah. The guy that went on his social media and was like saying that he was gonna unalive people.
Yeah, I was just like, oh wow, why would he do that? And then he got released, right? So
Well, yeah, that was the right thing to do. But
yeah, it's just like,
that
oh, this is
was
against our values.
that was bizarre, man. Never do that, please.
Man,
If you're someone who, if you're a high school student who's going to go to college, or a college student that's going to go in the NFL, just don't post on social media. Like, you, in this day and age, you can literally be canceled for anything.
right.
What he did was wrong, though. I'm not trying to imply anything else.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got the Raiders here. But I'm whoa, my voice cracked. But I'm hoping for a tie. A tie would be the creme de la creme for the Chargers.
Well, when was the last time you see a tie? I don't remember the last time I saw a tie.
Week 3, was there a tie? I think there was a tie week 3.
Really? I need to
Maybe.
look it up.
I'll go
I'm not
back.
sure.
I'll check. But I think there was a tie this season, but only one, I think. Okay. Final game. Should be an interesting one.
There was no tie. I just looked.
No, there isn't? Okay. Then I'm wrong.
No, there isn't. Yeah.
Okay. The LA Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. Who do you got?
I think the Rams will win this one. Sorry. I want to lose. I want to like go like support the Niners. So that's what I really want. But I just don't think they can turn things around and win this one. Hey, unless it's really true that Shanahan actually has like McVay's number. You know, who knows? But in order for that to happen, you need to make sure that I mean, you can make sure, but you just need to have Matthew Stafford choke like Jared Goff. You know?
Well, he almost did it last week.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, like he choked last week because like Titans have like great defense, right? But I really don't know if the Niners will be able to pull off a great defense. Like I think their defense have been really struggling like so far, like this past few weeks, and they couldn't figure out what went wrong. It was just like very frustrating. So I think if things go as expected, I don't think the Niners will win this one. It's very sad they haven't won any home game. Like, and yeah, their game, the ticket price is very expensive. So I don't know. Maybe they need to lose more games so we can get to watch like cheaper games. Not that I wish them to lose, but it's the reality. People always say like, "Oh yeah, how come we don't have fans here?" But I'm just like, but you guys sell like what $200 for upper level deck seat? I don't want to do that. Like, why? Why would I make myself like suffer?
No. NFL tickets
by paying that much and you're not winning.
NFL tickets are not only extremely expensive, but when you actually go and watch the game, the view sucks.
Yeah, like, you can't really see anything. Like
I've been at a big stadium before, and
it
just doesn't look good.
No, I think you get a better viewing experience from home. At home, you just watch TV. At least you get super excited about it. Whereas in person, you misjudge the angle of the kick. Like, so I went to a preseason game when the Niners play against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs kicker was kicking a field goal, and from my view, from my side, it looked like he was way off. And then we were cheering. I was like, yeah, he missed the field goal. And then we look at the score. Wait, why is the score going up for the Chiefs? And then we're like, oh, never mind. He actually made the field goal. So that was really bad. Like the whole viewing experience was just mad. I mean, you go to a game to just kind of like hang out with your friend, to just enjoy. I don't know so much about like really seeing the details of the game. You just see a guy get knocked down. You'll be like, why is still no penalty call? Like, that's not okay. And who knows, right?
Yeah. So anywho, where were we? Oh yeah,
we're talking about the score. So the last game that we're gonna predict, right? So I go with the Rams.
Yeah, I got the Rams too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's looking like it's gonna be a pretty interesting week this time around, unlike some of the previous weeks. So,
but I think this week could be mad too. Like I just feel like it should show whether those good teams are really good. You know, like if the Bills were to lose to Jets, then there's something to be said about the Bills, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
can't be losing to garbage time teams like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. I got nothing left. Do you have anything left, Lee?
Nope. Nothing.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps up this week's show. You can follow me at Zephyr the Scribe on Twitter. And if he allows you, you can follow him at Amos Lee Huang on Twitter. He probably won't.
Yeah, you can try to find me on Twitter. I don't know. You can try to follow me, but I really got nothing there. I tend to follow people, that's all.
Yeah, we don't. I talk about wrestling stuff, and Lee doesn't talk. We just text each other via Twitter, and that's how we communicate. So
yeah,
follow me, and maybe in the future we'll make a Twitter account for this page. Well, I'll probably be the one tweeting out live during the Chargers game. If Lee wants to tweet out stuff as well, I will let him use the account. But
I wonder if they have the feature where you could co-own an account, like where
you can have an account and set up in 2 different places.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, because
I'll try that.
Because I use VPNs all the time, so I'm at quote-unquote different locations all the time.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we'll try to set up a Jolie Podcast Twitter account, and hopefully we get some extra traffic from there. Or for the people watching, you can follow us on there. So maybe in the future we'll get it set up. So that is all for us this week. For Joseph Yanez, this is my partner Lee, and we'll say good night.
Good night.